So as you say, since the decisive battle lies ahead of us, we should try to get as much brain work done as possible beforehand, so the problem lies how we're going to answer the biggest question of all. How do we save Altera? Kukulane says if we can kill him, we should kill him. At least Shuan's pretty much agrees with that. What about Gawain and Archer? Not like we've come up with better ourselves. We're talking about fighting an alien enemy from the edge of space. And on top of that, we're not just looking to defeat an alien, but to defeat and save. Ryder gave the same response. Lubu stoic as ever. And Karna? To defeat someone yet try to save them is a contradiction, like choosing between moon and sun. Without both, tomorrow will never arrive. I think he means we'll definitely save her. I saw faith in our plan. A way to save her. One single task to accomplish, and we will already have the power to do so. The Regalia. As far as Seraph's concerned, it's a machine that can grant any wish. Since we have 2/3 of it in our possession, we should be able to do just about anything. So, really, all we have to do is hammer out the details of that plan. I am. Iskander had the courage to do whatever it took to obtain his heart's desires, as well as an adventurous spirit that made it hard to tear your eyes away from him. Even as his enemy, I couldn't help but think that. Saber. Saber's the person who was the uncle of the Roman Emperor Nero was... Oh boy! King Alexandros. Saber's eyes seem to search for something in the distance. Her thoughts are in a long time gone. Caligula. Whenever I think of the Third Emperor ancient Rome, he was famous to be more of a tyrant than Nero. They say he was a blood-soaked despot, the Emperor of Death who fell into madness. The greatest man in power at that time. Temperamental and would steal lives away without a second thought. In the end, he murdered in some internal plot. But the words that spill from Saber's lips seem to paint an entirely different picture from the bloody legend I know. I recall Emperor Caligula was considered an enlightened ruler and not a tyrant when he first took the throne. For the first few years of his rule, he was known as the Shining Star of Rome, like the saber I know. Perhaps Caligula in her memories is forever in the shape of the good, wise king she was most familiar with. Shall we practice our military tactics? Great idea. How do we do that, though? Doing some sort of simulation using the features of the throne? Huh? Oh. I'm actually not that familiar with backgammon either. The only thing I'm sure is that Ludus duodecim scriptorum sounds like Latin. But if it's the Roman version of backgammon, as Saber says, it must have similar rules about getting all of one's pieces to the goal. The battles that occur every day on this new Seraphar in essence wouldn't be conflict over territory. Probably learn a thing or two from a game where we send our pawns to a goal point. And so Saber teaches me the rules. Her explanation definitely reminds me of backgammon, so I'm sure it'll be easy to pick up. I can't win. Whether it's our natural talent or she simply got me boot in terms of experience, Saber's too good at this. I get to a point where I think I'm only a step away from winning, but I can't seem to clinch the last move. I've lost twice in a row now. That sounds right to me. Let's just say I'm glad to be in the ring and not having to face off against you. Yeah, I know, I'm just skipping all these battles now, just about. Portal's already open. Once we head in, it won't be long till we arrive at the confrontation with Altera. Honestly, I wanted to stop and talk first too, so I appreciate her asking. I don't think we'll get another chance like this if we don't do it here. It seems like we've only started just thinking about how we're going to do this now that we're headed into enemy territory, but that's not entirely the case. We thought about it over and over. In my room at our home base, we just haven't come up with a definitive answer yet. Doesn't matter where we think about it, we can make just about any phenomenon within the bounds of Seraph using the regalia. Now that I think about it, we've been traveling all around Seraph all this time with a literal holy grail right in our pocket. Just as Saber says, I'm saying that a lot. Right now, we're still stumped. Filled with our allies on the situation and trusted their opinions. All the servants did their best to think of a plan, but none of them were able to come up with anything solid. Engineer these moon cells automaton systems maintenance process that happens every 10,000 or some odd years. That was the title Archimedes introduced himself with. Truthfully, he did fulfill that role and had the skills to back it up. Normally he'd be the person we go to do this sort of thing, but he's working against us. He sided with the Umbral Star and ultimately betrayed all of humanity. Mythology Mystic Code? Yeah, losing the dark means opening... If we get rid of the zero dark, that opens up the moon cell to trouble. Talking to Altera directly might not help either. At least not right now, anyway. The Mythology Mystic Code is just the manifestation of a hero's origin. Not enough to influence Altera, since her strength is backed by the Umbral Star, which is on a whole different level of power. We need power on the same level if we want to free her from the shackles of the star. Even if we use this power of the Royal Authority, and even if Sable was able to release her full power with the Mystic Code, the formats of the Moon Cell and Umbral Star are too different. I feel like it doesn't address the root of the problem. Its power is ultimately a function of the Holy Grail. All we could hope for at best was to be the destroyer, and even that's not guaranteed. To break her chains, to change her fate, there has to be a way. I understand Saber's frustrations, feeling especially useless right now since we have the regalia with all its function at our disposal, yet can't seem to find a way out of this situation with it. But we can't give up. We can save Altera. We will save Altera. Hmm? Why would you give us this information? She slipped past the regalia's barrier so easily. Regardless how she managed it, she doesn't seem to have broken a sweat, positively brimming with confidence. Well, that's really dark. She's not attacking. She's always been rather temperamental, so it's not beyond the realm of possibility she might join us. But even if she did, she'd probably, definitely be watching for the first sign of the tide turning and strike. She's brought us all the way here, but again, the question is, why would she? She's after something still. Altera's sword was plundered from the ancient gods? Also, would you say abracadabra? Also, rusty old pipes turning into weapons? Sounds like mage crafting. Yeah, it's Elizabeth for you. The theory itself makes sense. The can't say I'm not a bit overwhelmed by the enormous scale of what we're talking about. I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around everything. If I heard this story out of the blue, I never would have believed it, but both Saber and I touched that record. We both saw the White Titan's battle with our own eyes, before it was engulfed in that light. Before it fell to the ground, the White Titan had a sword in hand. If Elizabeth's right about that sword, there might be a way to unbind her with the power we have. And we better not try without the full regalia. At the very least, it sounds a better plan than trying to directly negotiate with her or relying on the mythology and mystic code. The maiden in white stands before us. We've finally come this far. The wish of my past self resonates in me more strongly than ever. She stands by her role as she prepares to take a stand against Saber. The body's wish was to tear her away from that role, to stop the Umbral Star and to write her a new ending. And now both Saber and I share that same wish. We'll make it come true here and now. I am the Burger Queen, except not. I don't see my body, but I do feel a presence from within Altera's sparkling ring. Guess we know where it is at least. That's something we saw in the records. Her memories from many centuries ago when the life form created from the remnants of the White Titan spent her time as human. As Attila the Hun. She spent those years on sleeping in the Zero Dark, the memories of the grasslands. I knew when the record first reached us. It must have been the same for Saber. Even though it wasn't part of the recorded image I saw in my dream the other day, I knew. We're not gonna be able to keep talking like this. We can't avoid this fight. I have to beat my shit. Oh, Gilgamesh, you're back? I already sent you away once. I don't have to fight you no more. I got all the... Yeah, it's strong enough to take most of the enemies. It's just a lot of the length of the game so far is the, That's why you haven't heard me say, like, welcome back or anything like that. I've just been, like, powering through. Uh-oh. Here comes their noble phantasm. Never lose to a babe like you. This is my noble phantasm. You've seen this before too. Man in White's howling. The sound she makes is not of fear. She's not trembling before an enemy she must defeat. She's in Saber's theater, where golden shrouds everything the eye can see. She's fascinated and enraptured. Both by the Aestus Domus Aurea, and by the girl who hides this golden theater within her heart. It's not just beautiful, it's the culmination of her life as a servant. The Emperor may have lived a flamboyant life, but was betrayed by everyone she knew and died a lonely death after all was said and done, and despite that, she raises her head proudly as she sings. She proves her life was wonderful, including the glory and decay, the betrayal and destruction. Her song describes a life lived in beauty. The contents of Saber's heart rain down upon Altara. She understands the strength of Saber's noble phantasm. It's more than a beautiful spectacle. That every atom of its existence is saturated with love and applause for all who live in the moment. That it is possible for us to understand. That even if she is a monster, it's worth taking her hand. Yeah, it was a method Saber would normally have at her disposal. The one who was swallowed up by the Pillar of Light wasn't Saber herself, but a fake cyber frame that was identical to her. 'Twas Boot made with the Regalia's functions and the majority of Castor's mana. In short, a sneak attack using a body double, Castor was the one who provided the decoy. She is undoubtedly the only one who could make a cyber frame convincing enough to fool Altera, especially during the heat of battle. She had to wait for the right moment and switch it out with the real one. So he succeeded in catching Altera off guard using the presence concealment skill temporarily bestowed upon her by a function of the Regalia. Saber's laying both her sword and life on the line. We didn't plan this part beforehand, but I'm not surprised by her actions. It's just like Saber to do something like this. So I'm standing here alongside her. Not about to let her die alone. I want to know too. Why have you given up? Saber's asking her what's precious to her, what she fears and what she wants. Saber begins to talk about the record that came from a parallel world, about the body of Samantha Sayonji. The record contained images and sounds that may not match up perfectly with what we find here, the Alterran prisoner of our world. Plenty of differences even in the short span of what we've seen for ourselves. But they are still fundamentally the same beings, so... Well, you finally said the words I was waiting to hear. Had me nervous about how all this is going to turn out, but you know what we have to do now, right? Bonnie looks a little embarrassed, but still extends her hand to Altera. The words she said the other day come to mind. Nothing would change then. That alone isn't enough to write Altera a new ending. That's what they meant. We couldn't change her ending if Altera didn't want to save herself. She didn't want to try and fulfill her own dreams. Unk? What is it? What is all of an ankle? I see no tiny foes at my feet. Ankyo? Is it a new servant of the art? Okay, I can almost buy that much of a misunderstanding, but come on, Saber, you know what she's trying to say. Calm it down, Neto. Never in my life have I wished for brothers and sisters, but I'm beginning to think having a little sister would be most agreeable. Saber, we got things that we need to do first, right? Can Saber use the sword? Wouldn't that be something? Or can she dual wield? Altera's sword comes out. With this we can change everything, but just as confidence begins to set in, I feel like I hear a voice. Thanks, I'll leave the rest to you then. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Saber's surprise is understandable. I don't understand what's going on. No, I get it. There's no other way this can end. Was this really your decision? They can't. Even by the standards of everything up till now, it's impossible. We bent the rules more than we should have been able to several times already. We can't have everything, right? Be reasonable. Wouldn't you say so? You of all people have to know this is the natural conclusion here. Right about now is the time when Altera defeated Sepher in the other world. This is when I vowed to myself I'd save Altera, when I sent my record back in time. As a result of that, the ending changed, so I no longer exist. Or I was already going to exist, rather, altogether. A fixed point in the timeline, no matter what kind of tricks I pull. If I don't disappear, it means I never sent the record, or survived sending it, which isn't true. That would cause an error, so this is what happens instead. Even if I did survive somehow, I'd end up merging with the other me and lose who I am anyway, so glad I made it this far. I'm just glad I was able to show you that your humanity's real, Altera. That's right. On this day, at this moment, this version runs out of time. A willing sacrifice to change the loved one's fate. Only she knew that and kept it secret. She yearned to spend those days again with Altera, and she chose to make the best of them, not for herself, but for her. In saving Altera, she got to live through her whole happy life with her all over again. Even if she was secretly terrified of the inevitable end, she went on to face it. You guys did great. We only had one chance at this. Sending off the record was a one-time deal, so we couldn't have blown it. But you did it. Wouldn't expect anything less from the real me. You are the victor of the Moon's Holy Grail War, after all. She smiles with such pride. In that smile I see trust, admiration, and her best attempt to put up a brave front. That bravery pushing aside her fear of disappearing and how much pain she was in. There's no way that I wouldn't understand her, because she is Samantha Sayonji. The quantum time lock's about to kick in, and when it does, this world's gonna form the new trunk of the tree, so to speak. That's because this world's the firmest, the strongest, the safest, the rifest with possibility. Altera's dream is mere hours from becoming true, so I'm okay with this ending. Even if I never really was supposed to exist in it, I did. I'm sorry for that. Quite the lie. Please forgive me. Listen, I'm glad you learned how to grieve, and I hate that I have to go, but this is what it means to be human. Our lives are short, we can't live forever, so we gotta think about what we want to do with the limited time we have. My dream's that one day you'll race the grasslands again, and now we know that dream can come true. Even if you can't see me anymore, you'll continue on and I'll be with you. That's what it means to go on living. I think I understand that now more than ever. It's a wish that grows in every living body. The consciousness rests in the mind and soul. The body only exists to produce those two, and so there's no need for it to have its own awareness. It's not supposed to. Although I can't quite put it into words, that awareness exists with more presence than any other right now. Someday we will all be gone, so the body wished for that unavoidable end to mean something. Please make the best of the time I've left you, so that after I'm gone, you can someday find the place we couldn't both reach. I'll give you the regalia, but don't even try to save me. Everything would be ruined if I merged into you. Now that the mind and soul are united, my temporary spiritrons have stabilized. Even without the body, it's probably even possible to make a new body and merge with that. It's just that there can't be two of the same existence. I'm not complete until the other one in front of me disappears from this timeline, this world. I'd fall in love with you all over again. I don't have any memories of you, Saber, but I'm a little jealous of myself. You really want to go out on that note? Thank you, Altera. Well then, time to finish saving you. This avatar can't hold together without a master. Yeah, you won't turn into the White Titan anymore. We gotta put you down. Her speaking style's changed, not just the past tense. I think she's put more than her warrior self behind her. She's moving on from all the ages she spent resigned to captivity. The white flower disappears, her temporary cyber frame crumbles, returning to the Titan. The scarlet flame, the hand of the Emperor of Roses, can't reach her. I couldn't hear most of her final words, but even so I know what she said because it comes so close to what I heard in the record. It was a wonderful dream. Their plans failed. Or has it? There's no way I could have forgotten your voice, let alone the sight of you. I knew we should have taken you out the moment we first met. From the time of your appearance and the way you're talking, I can only assume you were watching us all along, watching everything. The fight between Saber and Altera, the words she spoke. The woman who entrusted her hopes and dreams to the past. No, to herself in the future. The tears of the White Maiden as she disappeared. He watched it while laughing in the shadows. You've taken care of her? Archimedes' laughter resounds around us all. The sight of him's even more evil. More hideous, more impassioned than any heroic spirit I've seen. I don't understand quite why that description comes to mind, but there is something I simply can't dismiss as madness. You've done a hell of a job so far. A single foreign body appears like a jewel in the starry sky. The aberration makes a strange noise, scraping away at the atmosphere with unnatural thunder. A vast shadow, my blood runs cold just looking at it. For a moment, I'm deluded into thinking the falling ship looks like a teardrop. It's falling. This is the root of everything. The fragment of the Umbral star, Velber. The merged regalia is screaming without a voice. With a rush of information, it's warning me. Pork chop sandwiches! Oh shit! Get the fuck out! If the arc of the stars crashes into the surface of the moon at that speed, that angle, the moon cell's going to be completely corrupted within 2800 seconds. That's the time frame during which the quantum time lock would happen. All functions of moon cell would be overwritten, and that truth would be set as the basis for all the worlds to come. What happens then? The jamming signal disappears and the main body of the Umbral star finds the moon. Umbral star ready to finish it all. Everything. And he gets beat down again. Ooh, this time in the story too, it seems. Wham! Deleted! Nothing more than an armchair theorist. Your math can't fucks with me. I got the power of love and anime on my side. And also a sick God of Mars sword. They even use that on you, but I assume. That might be something I just throw up to the star to finish it. If it can kill gods, then... I've been trying, but I can't use the regalia to control the arc. I can access it from the outside. Its internal schematics are too different from the moon cell. From the Earth's body of knowledge. I can't even alter its trajectory without analyzing its systems first. The regalia estimates analysis would take 10 years. We only have a matter of seconds. Stop it now. We'd have to destroy it. But is that even possible? Talking about a hyperlight spaceship made of unknown alien tech. To fight something on that scale, we're not on that level. We have something that's not a technology from Earth. We got that sword. Ooh. This thing's not only preventing me from seeing anything, but stealing away my senses too. Ripping through the atmosphere as it is. In the middle of it, only his ringing laughter echoes in my ears. Oh shit! That's Titan Altera! Yo! Punch that shit! A flash of white rushes through my heart, a brightness that feels like the light of the stars. My eyes take her in her form and nothing else. Despite the jamming, I can see her in all her greatness. I immediately recognize a human shape, then a fist. Its mass undeniably huge, its acceleration is overwhelming. If we were on Earth, the impact would have been like a meteor. And like a meteor, the force of the strike comes roaring. Terrifies me to imagine how much that strike could have damaged Seraph, but... I don't feel it. A single bit of fear. I feel from my heart that this is something to applaud. A direct hit the arc can't evade, and never could have. Colossal white form shines with a heavenly light, like the sun breaking through a dark horizon, like the hopes and dreams of humanity given shape. That single strike of hope puts an end to 14,000 years of destruction, subjugation, and solitude. She broke free. A few minutes ago? Oh, did Liz help? Well, how about that?
まあ、いいとこまで行ったみ。最強無敵なはずのアンチセル様に救われないわ。前回はあなたが先に消えて、怪物と人間の恋。予定通りセファールの力をいただくわ。エイリアンの血とかちょっとだけ怖いけど、まあだってそれが一番の近道でしょ。私がでもそうなったら、まあ今でもライブ会場に収ま。
Did you bite off more than you can chew with this?
それはそれとして。
My God, you set her free.
噛みつこうかしら。やっぱり二の腕が妥当かしら。あれ、なんか暗くない？とりあえずお礼は言っておきますね。
Am I like getting punked?
いやだわ、冗談よ冗談。
Hey, what's going on?
そうですね。これぐらいで。
Just bonk her on the head or something? Now we get back to present. So her meddling once again. This time it works for us. Ooh, he's pissed now. He's got a form too or something. See you later, fuckers. He's become one with the thing. That thing's final boss. Velber 2. How far will he go to achieve his ambitions? Does he intend to drop this entire territory into the core? The shock shake the entire air in my body with it. The feeling of falling grows so strong I can feel it even though I'm stored in the ring. The regalia sounds even more emergency alarms in my head. The moon cell itself screaming. Upon engulfing Archimedes, the Ark starts carrying out the absolute worst case scenario for the moon cell automaton. Archimedes is not just dropping a fragment, but the entire Zero Dark. So the sky shoots past us. The sea of stars grows more distant with every passing second. The entirety of the field we're standing on has started crashing downwards. This is a suicide mission. Yeah, Archimedes is going down with the ship. He'll probably succeed unless someone stops this supermass moving well beyond terminal velocity. Her hand. That's why she punched that thing and couldn't contain it even after that fact. Behold the Sword of Mars. No matter what situation we're in, absolute danger or an impossible dilemma, she'll never hesitate. Even though my memories are clouded, this is something I'm certain of. Saber's not backing down. Even if she stops for the briefest moment, she carries on. Burning like fire, blossoming like a flower, smiling with all the force of the sun itself. For her, I'll always lend a hand as master, even at the end of the world. No, this isn't the end. No more so than we fought the Moon Cell Kuro when we battled through the labyrinth of cherry blossoms. No matter where we are, we always pull through. Never give up! Yeah, you're not Mars, you're Venus! She so earnestly expresses love as much as she seeks it. Don't know how important it is for the god to be compatible, but then again, I've never heard of a heroic spirit being able to summon a god spirit to begin with. No use worrying about whether there's precedent for this sort of thing when the world's on the line. Right now, we gotta just do whatever we can. We're using the entirety of the Regalia's resources and the Sword of Mars to access a higher plane. We're building our own rainbow bridge and attacking this thing's life points directly. If we were summoning a heroic spirit, we'd access the Throne of Heroes in a similar way. Getting a cyber frame would bring him to Seraph, but that's only possible because of this incredibly stable connection between Mooncell, the supercomputer that records everything on Earth, and the heroic spirits whose existence are deeply rooted in human history. As far as gods go, but Saber says she's compatible, so... We get a second form too, it seems. I shall transcend my class and soul. Saint Saber! Saber Venus. Putting the splitting stars at her back, my saber appears before me never before. I don't know what kind of goddess Venus is, even if there is a basis for her existence. I have no idea what her actual exploits are or what she took, but clad in that platinum armor, truly shining like a goddess. I'm actually at a loss for words. Thank you very much, my Venus. This is a better time than ever to be inside the ring. I'm beyond enthralled or even entranced. Seeing her with any part of this outfit would have been stunning, but I never imagined I'd be at such a lusty saber adorned with all of it at once. For the first time, how deadly a weapon beauty can be, I understand it now. I'm using the full extent of my power through the regalia to do something as ridiculous as manifest a god spirit in this world, but I have no regrets. If it's to keep this form in this world, I can run my magic circuits at full power forever. I did. I gotta kill this giant thing first, after that. Before I can observe you in full, you'll observe me in full inside the ring. That's it, final chapter. Gotta destroy it from within. Oh. And then he closed it off. Looks like I gotta hit these little things, maybe? Yeah. Easy. Oh, it's another field thing then. Okay, I see. You break these, and then the whatchamacallit opens up.
今の世と奏者であれば星の船であろうと倒しきれよう
No noble phantasm, I say. That one? No, it's far off. Oh wait, no, I see him. Damn, what these things are is no match. No Moontribe either, the whatchamacallit's grayed out. You know, it might make sense. The form is superpowered enough, I think. Now it opens up. I take the path in. Oh wow, now we're... Ow! Oh god, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Okay, I timed it. I got the timing down now. Oh, we're here. Oh, was that it? I leveled up. There's more than one core? I see. Oh no! System expelled the intruder. It's still falling. Enter from the other side. Oh, I see. I jump around. And then we do this again. Looks like I have the same combo, so to speak. I'm just using the Sword of Mars to make myself stronger. Let's just burn through all of these. Oh boy, still got more of these, eh? Oh wow, I blew through him. Oh god, they're nothing to me. I'm stunning these? Okay. Nothing's a match for me right now. Holy shit. I destroyed that other core. Yeah, it's... More charging in. More barriers too, right? Hope I got the timing down. Oh, early. Damn it. Yeah, use the seals. Make me even stronger. Shit, early! Ow, but it doesn't do much damage, though. Damn, I probably could have done that earlier. Set myself with that damage. Shit, come on, I hit that. Break this core up. Oh, that was it. It wasn't a roll of 3 at all. Yeah, see. Ah, still... Max combo is still under that? Okay. Again, I don't know how much of these I got to EX rank. Still, 4 levels off of that alone. Love can't be analyzed, you dingus. You should have a new, whatchamacallit now. This is like 2 double phantasms at once. Blech. So that's how you want to reach us. You were speaking through her. I was busy killing too much things. I didn't even really think about it. I'm like, wait, how's Nameless get in here? All the Umbral forces in the Zero Dark would be automatically recalled when a fragment of the Umbral Star was destroyed, so... we've won. There's no words for her for attempting to assert my perfect waifdom. The final light that shot forth from Saber Venus utterly destroyed the Arc of the Stars from the inside. The obliteration was total, no trace of its walls or tentacles, all of it gone. Even if it had some sort of automatic reconstruction feature, it'd be impossible for it to regenerate now. Although the Zero Dark still exists, the only reason the Moon Cell had originally kept this area around was to stop the Arc from interfering. It won't be long until the entire area is deleted. The Umbral Star's territory, Altera's prison for all those years. That place is no longer of use to anyone. It's only right that fades. The particles of high-density spiritrons that formed the Titan Altera's cyber frame is crumbling. This is the exact thing we saw on the record. Everything that formed the person she was, everything that tied her to Seraph disappearing. Crumbling. Tears are raining down. Not the tears of the great goddess who saved the world, but the tears of the heavens shed by the stars that watch over us. Pouring upon us endlessly. No one could stop these tears from falling. The cyber frame, having lost the mana needed to live, falls into the Zero Dark as a deluge of inorganic mass, and then bit by bit, it disappears. All while sparkling with the ephemeral glowing light of the spiritrons. I know why this is happening. We're the ones who made it happen. We should have known that if we destroyed the fragment of the Umbral star so deeply tied to Altera, she too would be destroyed. The Ark formed the basis of the Titan's existence. With the Ark destroyed, the results were inevitable. But still. Saber's actions reflect her words. There's no tears on her face, not a shred of doubt. Even though she stands before this overflowing endless rain that cruelly accelerates the torrent of debris. She stands ready quietly over the crumbling Altera. Not that she doesn't see what's going on. She's certainly seen this with her own eyes, so why is she smiling? It's her. No mistake, younger than before, but lying right here, the Titan continues to fall into ruin around us, and yet, for a moment, all I can do is look back at Saber. I get why she was smiling all this time. So she's back to being Attila now. She did it. She used it to cut the connection just before destroying the Ark. To think she'd been able to adjust for something so small while emanating such an overwhelming, unprecedented level of dimensional magic. Why didn't she tell me? I didn't mean to blame you or anything. I just never thought we'd see her again, but here we are. We gotta explain this now to, Caster. Tamamo. Her eyes are kind as well as beautiful. No, you woke up from that. You're not an enemy of civilization, nor do you feed off life. Altera, listen. That body was made by Velber based on information taken from Earth and Moon. One could say you're a child of the Umbral star. Although this fragment of Velber is destroyed, your life is something else entirely. A child chooses not their place of birth, but the path they walk. No longer do you need to destroy or subjugate it. Your life will flourish among the civilizations who welcome you. The little girl in white gives a faint little smile. Saber lights up with joy and returns a glowing smile of her own. I feel a smile forming at the corners of my mouth as well. Even though we were fighting for our lives just moments ago, there's nothing but happiness here for us now. Who do I thank first? Saber? Altera? After I figured that out, I should use the regalia to see how everyone else is doing. Gotta make sure no one's been hurt and that Altera's rebirth hasn't caused any side effects. Need to thank Caster for keeping our home safe along with Archer and the rest. Got something I should tell her in particular too. Need to give my thanks to the 7 servants who supported our cause. Following that, we have to search the entirety of this new Seraph. Need to suppress any rogue attack programs, whether they're tied to the Umbral Star or not. We also need to find NPCs and escort them to safety and begin the search of any remaining masters. Is this the actual sequel, baiting for the actual sequel that exists, called, Fate Extella LINK? Must have gotten caught up thinking about everything else. Well then, first... Even after all that. What kind of gigs you bringing me, producer? Why is the top out like me getting booked for so much junk? I was so close. Now I'll be back. Next time, Gadget! Does she actually come back as the antagonist for the second game? Now let me tell you the story of what happened after. A certain sort of peace has come over the land, at least over the parts we know of, since the new Seraph's growing bigger and bigger by the day. The Roman Empire and Seraph, the era under Saber's control, almost fully reconstructed. After the invaders from the Zero Dark all disappeared, a certain change occurred in Seraph. First, the number of NPCs started to increase. I even started to spot some familiar faces. Saber, overjoyed, calling them her Roman citizens, and has been busying herself with the area's construction. She says she's doing it because it would be uncomfortable living there day to day, otherwise the area was mostly made up of fortresses erected during the war after all. I can tell Saber is happy as she speaks boisterously about the glory and extravagance that can only be achieved through the efforts of our citizens. Additionally, it's not just NPCs who've increased, but surprisingly you start to see more and more humans in all the territories. Yes, humans! Saber doesn't really see the difference between it, neither do I, but Castor looked pretty surprised when she told me the news. Of course, many of the people who come to Seraph are Spiritron hackers who have become wizards, but not everyone is one, and for some reason there seems to be a fairly large amount of non-wizards. Saber thinks they're immigrants who've moved to the moon, as the environment on Earth is too harsh for them. Of course, the Roman gates of Seraph are wide open. Saber loves to welcome people who have chosen to live in the serial phantasm world. It's no surprise her noble phantasm's a glorious golden theater just waiting for applause. She keeps her door open for any audience who comes to share in the joy of the world. Now for Tamamo's domain. Oh my god! Is that just a leg sticking out? The Millennium Capital is moving along quickly with the reconstruction. Most of the areas that were damaged during the battle with the Umbral Star are being repaired now too. NPC's trade industry is doing particularly well. They've even established a trade route with Rome. For her part, Castor says, "It's not like I particularly helped them or anything, Babaka." Also tells me Karna is spending his days peacefully in the city of cherry blossoms. Apparently a sight to behold when he's gazing at the flowering glory of the trees in full bloom. Ryder started up a shop somewhere, or was she helping out at one of the NPC stores? Either way, she says she's doing well. I'd like to go and say hi one of these days. Berserker? No one knows where he went. There's rumors he's been watching cherry blossoms with Karna, but there's also stories of him being seen places other than the Millennium Capital or Rome, so no one really knows. 3 out of the 4 generals who served under Nero vanished just like Lu Bu. Kukalan's someone to find. Gawain claimed he was going on a journey to train himself even further. Shuan left just cucking all the while. All of them set off in different directions, following their own paths in the new and constantly expanding territories of Seraph. Archer stayed behind for us, but I don't see much of him. I just wonder what he's up to lately. As far as the Umbral Dark area herself, the servants who lent Altera their power. The top servants who stood by her side for various reasons, even though the Mooncell summoned them to fight for her. We know the King of Conquerors fell. We haven't seen any sign of the other two. Did they disappear? Did they leave Seraph and return to the Throne of Heroes? No one knows for sure. Hard to think that golden heroic spirit would have given up and left so easily. I can easily see him getting dragged into some unbelievable plot in some unbelievable place. Going all the time. And then the Zero Dark, the former territory of the Umbral Star. The unknown darkness that once blanketed the territory has started to vanish piece by piece. Apparently, it's an automatic function of the Mooncell running its course. Now that it's confirmed the Ark has been completely destroyed. No one goes there now. Even all the Umbral enemies have vanished, following the cessation of their functions. I don't think anyone will ever enter the Zero Dark again. How did it come to this? I'm trying to think of something to say, some way to calm them down like the ladies they are. Sarah's finally regained peace. It's never been this peaceful before, so it's wrong to fight like this. I tell them over and over they're both irreplaceable servants, but they can't even hear me right now. They're already spoiling for a fight. I know it. There's no one to stop them, and anyone who could in the first place is left on a journey of their own. Can I really not do anything other than watch? 2 of the world's most strongest, classiest ladies singing down to a mudslinging contest. I thought I was going to say gold and dinner table. Noble Phantasm, Danjiro approved Kyoto cooking! And so a Shokugeki started.
まずは洋の料無理強いとは無粋ですね、セーバーさん。お疲れ気味のご主人、質量料理か。褒めてませんから、玉も流の当てつけですから。あ、いえ、ご主人。
So it begins. I knew they'd shut themselves in the kitchen at the crack of dawn and were fussing over this and that while getting something ready, but I never could imagine this is what they were planning. The true battle begins now. Wouldn't bother me if this was a normal culinary battle. Wouldn't mind at all, in fact. I'd be perfectly content to let them go and improve their skills to their heart's content. But I'm forced to choose. Where's Kukulin when I need him? Mountainous fruits of their labors. I don't use mountainous lightly. Look at the spread. They really put everything they had to make in this. Both sides look delicious. Roman cooking and Japanese. Both different, both scrumptious. Oh, is that how it is? Who has the best ohoho? Mizuna, oysters, and tofu, grilled unagi, and lightly grilled anago. Again, I know some of these words. So even Danjiro would covet this? What, that is... Are you too acquainted with Sir Danjiro? You aren't, are you? Anyway, this really does look delicious. It smells wonderful. Its fragrance wafts over me. I can tell you spent a lot of time and effort on this. Thank you, guys. Seen a royal cooking. Ah, non-alcoholic wine. Oh, I could have done that. Golden roasted cheese and honey on the side, chickpeas, I've had lentils. Oh, roasted peacock? Pretty sure you can't, I don't know if you can even do that. I feel like peacock's like super rare. Which one will I choose? Like one of those people depicted in ancient history books. This looks super delicious. There were so many places, so many eras throughout history where the Earth's bounty was astonishingly plentiful. My mind almost wanders to all kinds of places. You gonna eat that snail? What are you complaining about? Your kind eats bugs and snails all the time. The adorable and charming Tamamo would never eat a bug. Honey soaked placenta fruit? Placenta? I mean, I heard it's good for your skin. Eh? Wait, placenta. Yeah, slight difference there. Moving on. It's oil fruit, a decadent display that would make even a completely gorged gladiator come running. All roads lead to Rome. You've heard the saying. Means all cultures and civilizations lead as well. Kyoto cooking is in of itself culture and civilization, so I win. I don't really understand what Saber's getting at, but, civilization. No, stop. Don't you want to dig in before it gets cold? Oh, well, they just cut it out. Oh, Altera! Oh my god, she's adorable! Before anyone else even realized, a young girl weight jumped up on top of my lap. Smaller than the Altera we knew. The new life form with both the features of herself and as a hero, and the faint shade of herself as a titan. The new cyberframe born on Seraph. I'm no less surprised myself. I didn't even hear her come in. I want to spend time with... I want to spend time with her too. That's how this is gonna go.
美味しそうです。右のお料理もこれはどちらがいい文明
I should probably say something here, but before I can open my mouth.
アルテラよーく聞き悪い文明など世界のどこにもであるがゆえどであろキャスしょうがないですね。そう味も栄養も保証しましょうとも悪いものなんて
Wow. Altera pretty much saved the day on that one.
そう言いました。メンキャスターよ。これこそ無効試合と腹を空かせた無垢なる少女にお預けなどしては狐としてって何ですか
And with that, the epic battle draws to a close. I've been waiting for so long. I'm hungry too. Besides, there's no way I could finish this huge pile of food just myself. Since it's the four of us here in the same room, I'm not sure we'll all get along perfectly, although I wish we could. At any rate, the best plan is for everyone to enjoy this wonderful banquet. So we did make it out after all.
ベルバー2すでにクォンタムタイムロックに入ったが人の文明と欠陥品であるお前たちのだがベルバーはいずれここへと至ろう
The man body.
別の星よ
I guess that is the sequel bait for Link. Yeah, look at everybody. I should have unlocked everybody else for the, yeah, Elizabeth, Archimedes. New content added to gallery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. More characters to showcase. I did a couple of these because I did want to like level them up beforehand as well a little bit. Some of these characters just joined, so I gotta work with them a little bit. As things stand now, I did like as much of the battles I had to cut out just to make room for like the story itself from like invading, so to speak. I guess it just is kind of that kind of game, that kind of series overall, just very, very heavily story oriented. Some games just have a better take on, like, compiling, like, battles with that as well. And this game, kind of rough with that, to be honest. I was like, a lot of the same old with most of the fights you've already seen. Unless we're going to see something different with these, although I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about doing the rest of this, to be honest. Like, these here. I think, like, part of me wants to move on and do Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory, I think. The next game is down on the list. So, I'll put it to you guys. Which do you want to see? You want me to continue with this? Do all of these characters? I'd imagine, I could do probably a video for each, maybe, if I cut out all the fights. But then you'd just be sitting through, like, cutscenes and everything else and me talking, I guess? Or do you want to see some, bit more action now if I do, the next Neptunia game? But in any case, I haven't said this in a while because I've been cutting it and everything else, but take care and thanks for watching.